Do you overthink decisions way too often? Hi, Craig Hopper, founder of Brave New Blokes. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to make better decisions quicker and more effectively. Have you ever agonised over a decision? You don't want to get it wrong. You don't want to look bad, and you're afraid that people are going to second guess you. Decisions are almost never as important as we think they are. Life, relationships, projects, meetings, they rarely succeed or fail based on one decision. The path to the goal is complicated. It's windy. We have to make tens or even hundreds of decisions along the way. No single one of them is actually that important. The only really important decision out there is the brave one, the first one, the decision to get started. Because you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. When we get stuck, most of us are weighing up the pros and the cons. We want to do more analysis to feel comfortable, to feel like we're going to get this right. But you know what? More analysis often doesn't help. When we get this wrong, it's often by a factor of 2 or 3 or 4 times. It's rarely we were 1 or 2% out. We've missed something big. And that's okay. But there's a psychological term, cognitive bias. And it means that even the most sophisticated decision makers have a tendency to look for and value information that confirms what they already think. For the vast majority of us, these decisions that we're making are not life or death decisions. Because, quite frankly, we don't get to make those. Now, just below those kind of life or death decisions are the really, really big life-changing decisions. To be honest with you, they're not that hard. Because when you're really facing into one of these situations, then you're going to be guided by your values and your principles. So when my wife was in a coma in the hospital on life support, I had to make decisions, lots of decisions. For her, for me, for our children. But I didn't even have to think. It was clear what was right. We made the decision and we moved on. So you have to change everything. You know, I had to leave work for weeks. I've had to make decisions about what we were doing for the month, the year, the future. All sorts of things have changed. But again, these are not that hard because it's linked to what's important and what you truly value in life. Yet we still struggle with one level down. Some of the more minor, not so life-changing, but still important decisions in our life. So recommendations at work, choosing a school for the kids. Should I apply for this job? Should I ask for a raise? What should I prioritize? Down to all sorts of day-to-day things that a bunch of us struggle with. Now, whilst these are not so important, they do contain a lot of uncertainty. That triggers all sorts of fears for us. So it could be FOMO, fear of missing out. Again, it could be fear of making mistakes, not wanting to look bad, or that people are going to second guess us. But what we need to do is be brave. The path to success is windy. As I said, it's uncertain, it's unpredictable. We're going to have to make so many decisions along the way. We're going to have so many chances to course correct if something goes wrong, because you know what? Something will go wrong. But there's a plan B, there's a plan C, there's a plan D. The only thing we know for sure is that if we don't start, we will never get there. That's why we need to be brave. We'll face into the fact that we'll mess things up along the way. That's okay. We respond, we grow, we learn. A guy called James Stockdale, who was a prisoner during the Korean War, said the important thing to remember is that we control the end of the story. How we look at it, how we respond to all the different things we encounter along the way. We can't control all of that stuff, but we can control the end of the story because we keep going and we decide how we think about it and how we choose to accept it. Think of it this way: perfection is the enemy of progress. Progress depends on making a start. So how do we make quicker, better decisions? First of all, try not to make those big decisions. We want to shrink these things down to the smallest decision possible, the smallest next step possible. We don't want all or nothing, gamble everything kind of decisions. Avoid them if possible. Secondly, we should be using data, facts wherever possible, rather than opinions. Data beats opinions. Now, thirdly, if you don't have data, you got to use opinions. Ask an expert if you can. Otherwise, go with your own. Because at the end of the day, it's your learning. You have to own the outcome, and you're going to be making the next zig after that zag. Fourthly, work out what your plan B is, because the chances are you're going to need it. So if this doesn't work, what will we do next? It's amazingly comforting. Number 5, though, don't just worry about what could go wrong. Think about how good it will be when it goes right. Because at the end of the day, that's why you're doing this. 6th, of course, be brave. Get on with it. Get on with it. Make a start. And finally, celebrate. You deserve it. Give yourself a pat on the back or a victory dance or whatever you do to celebrate things. You were brave. You've made some progress. Now, nobody gets everything right. And in fact, in life, it's actually not that clear what right is. It's not simple. It's not like school. You're not going to get a score out of 100. Everybody's got an opinion, but at the end of the day, you're doing this for you. You're the one who gets to decide how the story ends. Remember, fear underestimates what you are capable. You've made it this far for so many reasons. You've got this. You are brave. Okay, thanks very much. If you like this, give us a like, share it, jump onto the website, bravenewblokes.com.au, sign up for the newsletter. Even better, get in the comments right now and tell me about the worst decision you ever made and what you learned from it. Stay safe. Be brave.